Professor Subhash Kulli, sir, good morning, sir. How are you, sir?
Morning, morning.
Then, sir, we are meeting after a long time, sir.
Very
Correct,
good
correct.
evening, sir. Dr. Subhash Kulkarni.
Yeah, morning, madam. I'm
How
here.
are you, sir?
Fine. How about you, madam? Mysore, how is it now? Is it?
Weather is pretty cool, sir. It's been raining from the past two to
No.
3
That
days.
I know. This special pandemic kind of.
Pandemic, yeah, it's subsiding now. Presently, it's under control. So lockdown has been released. Yes, we
Good,
have
good.
no issues. We're back
Because
to
Mysore
normalcy.
was a concern towards the end. Okay,
Yes.
but we joined the league. Not a problem. Good.
Okay.
I'll just check my presentation.
Yes, sir.
It is,
Definitely.
we have 2-3 minutes, I think. I'll
Yes.
just. Windows ಬರುತ್ತಾ ವಿಂಡೋಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತಾ
Professor Subhash, sir, actually, our Honorable Director, sir, is very busy today. Actually, he was showing his willingness to join the session, but unfortunately, due to some other commitments, he could not
No,
be here, sir.
no issues. His what you can say, virtual and then remote blessing is sufficient for
Yes,
us.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So he's very much occupied actually today and tomorrow.
It's okay, it's okay. So, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. Kindly make it full screen, sir.
I'm just checking out. Okay. Now,
Uh,
So
I think
otherwise, you can try slideshow.
no, it's taking delay. I think it's taking delay. Okay.
Control Alt and 5, sir.
No. I'm just trying. It's setting here, but it's not reflecting there. I'm just checking on another device.
sir, can you stop sharing and share it again, sir? That would do, I guess.
Yeah. That should be the solution, I think. Now let me see. Full screen. Still, it is not taking.
No, sir, it is not showing. Sir, I think you can zoom it up a little bit and you can present.
Yeah. That's the solution. That's the way.
Yes, sir. This is better.
Yes, sir. Perfect, sir.
Now let me check. Office.
Shall we start, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning and welcome to the third day of AICT Training and Learning, that is Atal sponsored 5 days online faculty development program on best teaching, learning and assessment practices in computer science and information technology based on national education policy. I welcome Professor Subhash Kulkarni, who would be handling the first session, and I request Professor Shashikala to introduce Professor Subhash.
Good morning to all. It's my pleasure to introduce eminent Professor Dr. Subhash Kulkarni. Professor Subhash Kulkarni is currently working as the head of the Department of Electronics and Communication at PES University, Bangalore. He pursued Bachelor of Engineering in Electronics and Communication from PDA College of Engineering, MTech in Electronic Design and Technology from CEDT, IISc Bangalore, and PhD from IIT Kharagpur. Professor has more than 25 years of academic teaching experience. including 14 years of research experience and 8 years of administrative experience. His area of research interest are math models in image processing, high-speed computational Vedic architectures, control systems, deformable models for image analysis, H-infinity control. He has published 72 papers in international journals, 35 papers in national and international conferences. Under his guidance, 6 scholars were awarded PhD degree. He has delivered lectures as resource person in more than 25 workshops and conferences. I take the privilege of handing over to Dr. Subhash Kulkarni to deliver a session on exploring visual and fun dimensions of engineering maths. Over to you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Thanks for the kind introduction. Okay. So it's my great pleasure to be part of this particular program, FDP. Okay. Let me make a last attempt to, I think, okay, fine. There is an issue with the presentation here. I am getting on the screen, but it's not getting shared. That's fine. So first of all, let me congratulate for the efforts of Mysore, SJC, and Allahabad, IIIT Allahabad. In fact, IIIT Allahabad is now ruled by Mysore people, I can say. So it's
Yes, sir.
Dr. Mohammad Javed and Professor P. Nagbhushan, whom we revere as father figure in image processing, both are there. And then, yes, IIIT Allahabad is making waves of Karnataka. Okay. So it's my pleasure to introduce on this particular dimension. Everyone knows about this, but yeah, maybe over the period we have forgotten, or maybe we have missed out communicating this to the next generation. But that's the reason I felt, okay, why not look at this particular dimension? Okay, it's more of a fun and then more of a visual kind of a thing where I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. Okay, so this is something which is close to my heart also, exploring visual and fun dimension, because I have a dream to establish laboratory for maths. Okay, so yeah, we are looking at it. Remember, first when we proceed for engineering maths, in maths there are 2 domains. Okay, let me set it out, because this is an interactive session. I prefer being a conventional teacher. I want a chalk and board kind of a feeling. That's why now it is tablet and Wacom kind of a interaction, right? So there are 2 domains in mathematics. One is pure and applied. In school level, we pick up those pure mathematical aspects, and we are expected to apply when we come to engineering. And that's what is engineering about. Take any branch of engineering, mathematics is applied. Okay, so understand there is some constraint in applied. The constraint is to work in real world. Okay, which is filled, generally it is filled with noise, or we can say disturbances. Okay, so this is the context in which we need to look at. So therefore, pure mathematics is the one which is the forte of all the mathematics teachers. Okay, I am not here to just point out what they are doing, or I'm not here to point out what mistake they are doing, or what mistake we are doing. I am just trying to see, can there be a harmony between the teachers of maths and then engineering teachers? And that's what a combination of that can deliver a lot to the students. Okay, and NEP also looks at that basically. So let me just present to you the context. There has been decreasing interest in, okay, this I can, all my personal views. Okay, don't take it as a generalized observation or something. This can be attributed to some extent the way maths is taught, with missing application perspective in engineering maths. Whereas engineering maths, if you see it, it's a field. Okay, it's used in field and is more application specific. Okay, engineering maths means we want to look at it and use it for technology kind of a thing. There is a need to ignite the spark conceptually and visually, which is missing. Okay, rather engineering maths is taught in an abstract way, I can say. the world is full of numbers and shapes that adds fun dimension to learning maths. So you can see, I can present a lot of examples here, and there are still many. I have covered very few here. Okay. Remember, our heritage has been very great. In all dimensions means I can show you what all dimensions that are there. Coming to this particular, nature supports mathematics. This is wonderful, I can say. Okay, nature supports maths. What is the dimension it addresses? Shape. Okay, if you take, for example,
sir, slides are not moving, sir. Slides.
Okay. One second. I think. Let me check. 1 second. What is that is happening?
Now they are moving, sir. Slides. I think you can just show us
yeah.
number 2. Slide
I think
number
I need not go on the slideshow. I will move here only.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, kindly show slide number 2 and slide number 3, sir.
I'm coming from the beginning. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Javed, for that. I'm keeping track on both devices, right? Okay. So there's a delay, but yes, it's coming. Okay. Maths, we are talking in 2 dimensions, that is pure and applied. Okay. So applied means to work in real world, which is filled with noise and disturbances. Okay. So what is the context? This is what is the context. Quickly, you can take a look at it. The basic context that has given rise to this particular topic is decreasing interest in math subjects, especially engineering maths and academics, which is taught in an abstract way, I can say. So it is missing the perspective of application. Otherwise, it will be very interesting and fun. So idea here is to spark that mathematics into a conceptual and visual domain, I can say. So world is full of numbers and shape. We can see a lot of examples here. So our Indian mathematicians have been addressing maths from all dimensions. We can see one of the examples here. Nature supports math. Let us see the shape. See, if you take the herbs that are mentioned here, addressing different parts of the body, okay, they almost resemble the shape of the organ. You can see heart, that is basil. It is having the shape of the heart. Lungs, mint leaves, they are also having the similarity to the shape of the lungs. Spinach, if you see, okay, the long stems are representative of the bones, okay, and the leaves represent the muscle, basically, okay. So you can see this. For example, next you can see one more dimension here. There is something called as Brahmi. Okay, in Kannada it is called as Vandalaga. Okay, this memory kind of herb. Okay, so you see the shape of that leaves, it is resembling the brain. Okay, similarly, walnut, you take it, it's a typical duplication of human brain. Okay, then you can see I got these relations from the net. Okay, I'm not trying to reproduce something from my own side, it's already there. Okay, if you take the shape of the stomach, it's almost like ginger, because ginger is used to cure a lot of stomach ailments. Okay, if the pitta rises or indigestion happens, generally our grandmother used to give in olden days small amount of ginger in the morning, especially in Hindu tradition, those who are following Ekadashi, like kind of a thing, on the 11th day. Okay, when you perform Ekadashi, the next day again, your stomach is not set to accept heavy food suddenly, instantly. So therefore, morning, a small amount of ginger was given to us with little bit of salt, because ginger is very, very strong and then spicy. A little salt will pacify it, and then you are asked to chew it 2 or 3 times and then digest, swallow it. Okay, so this is what a tradition. You can see the shapes. And carrot, you can see the carrot, slice of carrot is, if you take it, it has the same structure like the eye. Walnut is brain, grapes is lungs. You can see there are small kind of bubbles in lungs which are similar to the grapes. So grapes are good for lungs, you can see. Figs, and tomato is like heart shape kind of a thing. You can see here. Citrus is breast, and then sweet potato is pancreas. Kidney beans are there. Beans itself is called as kidney bean. That means it's a resemblance of kidney. So bones and celery. Hearing is connected to mushroom. Avocado to uterus. You can see all the shapes in nature also. Therefore, mathematics is there in nature also in huge amount. So what has been our tradition? I was mentioning there Indian mathematicians have contributed a lot. The tradition here is it has been more of fun in visual, conceptual, poetic, cryptic, all dimensions our mathematicians have been contributing. Okay, so I take the opportunity to salute the great mathematicians who have shown that maths is integral part of every domain in science and engineering. It is fun when math is perceived in every day-to-day activity. Okay, some of the contributions you can see. I'm not going to read out. I'm going to share the slides. You're going to get it. Don't worry about it. Rishi Medhatita, thousands of years back, he proposed number system up to the level of 10 to the power of 12, Parardha, Eka, Dasha, that is place value system. Okay, units, tens, hundreds, all those things, whatever it talk, it was known to us thousands of years back. 10 to the power of 12 number was also known to us. Zero was introduced to mathematics by Indian scholars. So Einstein has said, we owe a lot to Indians who taught us how to count, without which no worthwhile scientific discovery is possible. Okay, so 8 arithmetic operations were extensively used by Indian mathematicians. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, these are the basic arithmetic. Along with that, squares, square roots, cubes, and cube roots have been used. LCM, laws of indices, root approximation, all these were known to us. Not only just arithmetic and numbers, but algebra also, where we were huge contributors. We were pioneers in linear equation solving, okay, in 1, 2, 3 variables. Okay, so we contributed a lot in quadratic and cubic equation solutions. Okay, solving first and second order indeterminate equations were first perfected by Indian scholars. Okay, don't worry, all these are not complicated, but these had beautiful visual dimensions to it. Okay, so those who are really interested, I would suggest you can just take a look of many of these books have been restored and then digitized and then kept. You can visit National Digital Library of India, which is hosted by IIT Kharagpur. All these kind of old books, thousands of years back written books, are still preserved. Okay, so maybe 300, 400 years back it was there, and then slowly it was we couldn't find, but people who are possessing, they're coming forward and contributing. That's how this National Digital Library is able to host these many books there. Then Indian scholars were also profound in geometry kind of. They were experts in astronomy and astrology, okay, which is totally governed by planetary positions and geometry and everything, right? So Vedis, Chittis, and Yagyas, the dimensions of that, they were known to them earlier. Okay. So trigonometry also, sine theta, cos theta, what we talk, it was contributed by us. Okay. Infinite series of sine. And the value of pi, first time Aryabhatta gave this value 62832 upon 20,000. This was a value proposed in 6th century. And there were poetic mathematicians, okay, who also came out with slokas and then a beautiful context in romantic background to remember the value of pi in a cryptic way. So we were very good in encryption also. Okay, so there are other disciplines also where we have been contributing, forward and backward interpolation techniques, and then magic squares. And in magic square, the contribution of Ramanujan has to be appreciated. We will see that. To make mathematics learning fun, ancient Indian scholars resorted to poetic style of expressing formulae, okay, identities and problem specification. Leelavati is one such book which is very, very, very profound, I can say. Okay, you can see that. You can have that. It's available in the market. Okay, which is written in 11th century, and till 19th century beginning, it was a prescribed mathematics textbooks for Gurukulas. Okay, but later on, it was taken away by the Britishers, and then they removed that particular culture. And that book is still available. Everyone should have in their shelf. It's worth preserving. Hardly 150 or 200 rupees the book is there, and it's a beautiful mathematic treatise to learn mathematics, poetic treatise to learn mathematics. We'll see one or two poetic styles to solve problems there. So list goes on. So there have been mathematicians before 500 AD also. Okay, but it is not showing here. We are not showing. It's not on the records. We don't know. Baudhayana, he was living, I think, 2,500 years back. He contributed the main Pythagoras theorem, right? So he also knew the value of pi 2500 years back. Okay, he also knew the value of square root of 2. Okay, so let's just see it. 800 to 740 BC is said to be the original mathematician behind Pythagoras theorem. So it is called as Baudhayana Sutra, not Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so I want to take your attention to one of the contributors here, Bhaskara 1, serial number 5. Okay, he is one who proposed this 0. Okay, contributed 0 to that. And Bhaskara 2, serial number 16, if you can see it, he is the one who wrote Lilavati in 11th century. Okay, in fact, in his birth date was also in a mystical way written in one of the slokas. Okay, so these are the last 100 years, and you can see people like Ramanujam falling there and Dattatreya Kaprekar. So Kaprekar is very well known. You can go to YouTube and check Kaprekar constant. I will show you here what is the Kaprekar constant also. They have contributed a lot. Okay, so with that background, let me come back to the plan of presentation. We are looking at fascinating with number constants. So we were totally fascinated with number constants. Okay, Ramanujam's story and then Kaprekar, you can see, you will find out how they have been fascinated with some number constants. Okay, not only talking about numbers and variable, but particular numbers, they had fascinated them. Okay, then looking into Vedic maths, and then maths as a heritage value of pi, and poetic style of looking at maths, and then visualizing algebra, geometry, shape descriptors are there, global, local. How do we look at, how do we see it, how do we perceive it, how do we conceptualize it? Okay, then vector and space representation, modeling of systems, static and dynamic systems, then control system perspective, handling of discontinuities, how we handle, because engineering is full of disturbances. How we handle is again a particular thing. Then there is partial differential, which is close to my heart, and it's a research topic for me. But I am not an exponent in partial differential equation, but only one equation has fascinated me and driven me to this level. Okay, that's a very profound equation. You can also see it, and you can get also fascinated through that. And especially calculus of variations, all these things, they have different dimensions in engineering mathematics. Okay, and they help in realizing into practice. Okay, so let us see this Kaprekar constant. There are two things, 495 and 6174. These are the two numbers. Okay, these are constants. Kaprekar observed this. Let us take an example of any 4-digit number. Just go by this. A 4-digit number is picked. For example, 6282 is picked here. Okay, so arrange these 4 digits in descending order. Okay, so that will be the largest number. That's the largest number possible by this combination. Of course, 8 is the highest number coming to the highest position. Okay, 6 is next to it, and 2 equal, and next 2 places, right? So the number is 8622. You can't have a number more than 8622 from 6282. That's what is the understanding here. Now, arrange them in ascending order, lowest digit first. So you will get another number which is smallest, 2268. And if these two are subtracted, you will get 6354. Okay. Now, what is the number 6174 has to do? We can see it again. So repeat the same procedure with 6354. So the number becomes, largest becomes 6543, smallest becomes 3456. And the difference comes to 3087. Repeat again 3087. So it will come to 8730 and 0378. The number is going to be 8352. Okay. Then for 8352, repeat again. So you will find 8532 and 2358. Difference is 6174. Now you take 6174 and repeat it. It is going to be 6174 again. So that means you have done 1, 2, 3, 4. In 4 steps, you have reached the number 6174. Kaprekar said that you will reach, for any 4-digit number, you will reach 6174 in less than 7 steps, 7 repetitions. That was a profound thing he contributed, and it has become a fun. In children's and I think they play around, and then they know it's going to be 617. Finally, they will ask, okay, the boy who knows this particular thing, he will sit on one side and the other person is solving on paper, and he tells out the answer is 6174. In 5 or 6 rounds, answer is automatically 6174, right? Second one is shown in the top corner. You can see it. It will come to 617. Just see it, 8532, 2358, 6174, and again 6174 and 7641 minus 1467 will be 6174. Again repeat it, will be 6174 only. Okay, so that's the beauty of it. Three-digit number. Similarly, three-digit number gives you 495. Let us start with 927. Highest number is 972. Smallest is 279. It comes to 693. Then you repeat it. You will get the difference as 594. Repeat it, 495. Repeat it, 495, and it stops. In just 3 steps, it has converged to 495. This also Kaprekar said, not more than 7 steps, it will come to 495. If you start with a 3-digit number. And you can try this with even equal digits. One condition is you should not have 0 at the beginning. You can start with 9,000, 8,000. It comes to the same number, right? Just it's very fun. But if you start with 8,000, it will go to 6 to 7 steps. You can say that's the only difference. This is another crazy constant number commended by Ramanujan. Okay, so it's a fact. Okay, Professor Hardy visited Indian mathematician Srinivas Ramanujan in a hospital. In a taxi he traveled, whose number was 1729. Taxi number was 1729. Mr. Hardy described the conversation between them because Srinivas Ramanujan loved mathematics and numbers like anything. In spite of he being on the bed, Hardy commented saying that, you know, Ramanujan, I traveled in 1729 taxi number. Then he said that number didn't seem to be very interesting to me, or dull number. Ramanujan immediately commented, just see his own statements I am reading. Ramanujan said, no, he replied, it is very interesting number. It is the smallest number expressible as the sum of 2 cubes in 2 different ways. 1729 can be expressed as 12 cube plus 1 cube. 1729 can also be expressed as 10 cube plus 9 cube. What does this mean? Any number less than 1729 cannot be expressed in this fashion. This is the smallest number to be expressed. The first number, I can say, the first number in natural number, which can be expressed with 2 numbers in cube form and added, and 2 different ways. So there are several numbers above 1729, but this is the one. And then there's a film which is called Man Who Knew Infinity, which is filmed on Ramanujan. There is one more contribution by Ramanujan magic square also. His date of birth was 26 April 1920. So if you can split it, it will be 8-digit number. Can you see this square, 4 by 4 square? So the number is 26041920 is written. And from there, he created a magic square. Okay, using the formula, which is shown on the right side. Date, month, year, upper 2 digits and lower 2 digits. So you can take and form this magic square by this fashion. And for Ramanujan's square, it is coming to 139. Do it from any side, it comes to 139. Top row, bottom row, or diagonal, or whatever way you want to, it's 139. And similarly, he died on, his death is 26 April 1920. He was born on 22nd December 1887. And you can work with any number you want, you can create this particular. So he was not only looking at constants, but he also generalized them and made people to encourage to have their own kind of a thing. So he was an exemplary kind of a person. A lot of things he hidden. And it is known that Ramanujan had scribbled on papers and then threw them in dustbin, and those things were collected and put together. The several scholars used to sit and take those particular sheets and try to descramble those things. Okay, it's amazing kind of a thing. So a lot of work used to happen in Srinivas Ramanujan's brain, but very little would used to come on the paper. Aryabhatta was one such person. Okay, so he lived in 476. Okay, around that period. Okay. He gave the formula for a plus b whole is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab, and he also gave this following number: sum of consecutive integers and sum of consecutive integer squares, and then sum of consecutive integer cubes, and sum of consecutive integer 4th order. Okay, this formula continues. This is what he proposed in 5th century. He proposed. So we were so profound in that, right? And before that, number system in the West was totally different. Roman numbers, you know it, right? So there is no fixed digit place value system was not there. All the thing was borrowed from India. It is known that from India, it went to Persian countries, and then from Persian country, it was borrowed by Europeans, and then it became popular, and then this number system became so popular across the world. So by 11th or 12th century, Indian Indian number system became very popular across the globe. Okay, let me check whether I can do this. Okay, I don't know whether it is reflecting or not, but I would suggest you please do this exercise. Okay, so there is something called, see, we have been knowing this addition, multiplication and subtraction, everything, but we don't know how to verify the answers here. Okay, so parallelly you can do this exercise on a piece of paper. So there is something called as Bijang, because whatever I'm writing is not getting reflected, okay, on the screen. I'm checking here, it's not getting reflected. Okay, so just you can also do it. What does this mean? Get the seed number 865, for example, add the digits. What is the number you are going to get it? 14 plus 5, 19. 19 is 19 and 1 plus 9 is 1. So therefore you get Bijang as 1 here. Similarly for 294, the Bijang you are going to get is 6. The Bijang for 413 you are going to get is 8. Okay, so now what is the answer here at the bottom? You are going to get, I'm not going to ask you to do this homework, I am doing it for you. Okay, just note the answer below. Answer is 1572. Okay, now I'm not interested in telling you the right answer or not, but you have to verify. Okay, so 1572, add it up, it will come to 6. Now the resultant Bijang is 6 and the individual Bijang is 168, and these 168 you are doing addition, so therefore add them together. When I add them together, what I am going to get is 6. Now this Bijang individually added from the numbers is also 6, from the result is also 6. So therefore I am just finding out the verification. Answer is right, 100% correct. Why? Because the Bijang are matching. Similarly, you can try addition, subtraction also. There are number 24, minus 37, 23. What is the Bijang on top? 6. And the Bijang in the middle is 10. Minus 10, I can say. And the Bijang here is 5. Okay, now add it up. What will happen? This is, you are going to get, sorry, this is subtraction. Subtraction is 10. While the result is 10, because 23 plus 24 is 47 and 37 subtracted, you get 10. So what is the Bijang of the result? 1. The Bijang of this result numbers is 6 and 5 are positive. 6 plus 5 is 11 and 11 minus 10 is 1. So Bijang what you're getting is 1. Even in subtraction, the Bijang is matching. Wonderful, right? So one more example is there, 747 and 178. The answer is 569. I'm not going to spend much time on this. 569, the Bijang is 2. And upper one, the Bijang is 18 and 16. 18 and minus 16, Bijang is 2. So therefore it matches. Suppose there is one particular seed, 347 and 167, 178. Answer is 167, 169, sorry. And Bijang for the result is 7. And individual Bijangs, if you take it 6 and, sorry, 4, 14 and 16. This is 14 and this is 16. Minus 16 is minus 16. So the Bijang is minus 2, you can say. And the Bijang here is 7. So minus 2, you have to replace it with a positive number. So therefore you use the complement. Complement with what? Complement with 9. So 9 minus 2 will be 7. Okay. I hope you will see the results totally.
Sir, I think the slides are not moving, sir.
Yeah. I know. Now you can see the results.
Yes, sir. You can see.
Because when I go to slideshow only, I can work on background. And when I come back out of slideshow, then I can see, I can show you. Now you can see this. I'm leaving it to you. Okay. So this is how you can see the thing. Okay. So wonderful. The Bijang concept is the thing that has been proposed, I think, 10 centuries back. 9th century it was presented. Okay. Similarly, it is true even for multiplication. I'm not going to do this. You can see one example. Okay, I had already written it there. 26 and 31 multiplied is 806. The Bijang is 14, and then reduce it to single digit, it becomes 5. And individual Bijang is 8 and 4. Okay, 2 plus 6 is 8, and then 1 plus 3 is 4. So here you are doing multiplication. Therefore, you should not add. If you multiply 8 for the 32, you will get 32 is Bijang is 5. So the result is matching 5 and 5, right? And there is a wonderful thing. Vedic mathematics is one of the things which has been amazing kind of thing. 35 into 35 square. You just make 2 parts and write there. I'm not going to write the answer here. You can make out. Right side, you can see one vertical line I have drawn. The last digit should sum to 10. When it is summing to 10 and the left digits are identical, the answer is very simple. So right side, what you have to do? Multiply those two. 5 into 5 will become 25. Write the answer there. Okay, on the right part, and left part is 3. Take the next number 4. 3 into 4 becomes 12. The answer is 12 on the left part, 25 on the right part. Answer is 1225. You can check the answer through Bijang also. You can guess for 105 square. What is the answer for 105 square? 10 into 11. Next consecutive number to 10 is 11. 10 into 11 is 110. You write 110 to the left, and on the right side you just write 25. So 11025 is the answer. Similarly, you can check it for 32 and 38 because the single digits are adding up to 10. So right part is 16, left part is 12. So 1216 is the answer. So again, you can check it through Bijang. It matches. Okay, so profound were our mathematicians, and this many of you know it. Okay, this is vertical and crosswise multiplication. Okay, where we have numbers 29 and 83. You know very well. First number is 2 digits. Second number is 2 digits. The answer will be total number of digits minus 1. So 3 digit answer is expected there. So we write 3 parts at the bottom. So leftmost part, I have drawn a vertical line between 2 and 8. Multiply them. Simple. 16 you will get. Rightmost part, vertical line is written. Multiply them straight. 27. Middle part done crosswise. That means 8 and 9 is multiplied. 72. 3 and 2 is multiplied. 6. 72 plus 6, 78. So write those 3 parts and then represent them in 3-digit form. Whatever overflow is there, put it as a 4 digits. So you are going to get the answer. This also was a very beautiful kind of a thing presented by our mathematicians, Indian mathematicians. The advantage of this is you can work leftwise or rightwise or middlewise, anywhere. See, the right digit is 6-digit answer. Okay. So you can start from the middle, go to the left or go to the right, and you can start from left, go to the right, or right to left. Why I am telling you this is this has impacted the technology, and we are working here heavily to port this into building a simple 4-bit ALU, arithmetic, not a logical unit, arithmetic unit, 4-bit arithmetic unit, and we have found that the architecture with these particular sutras is becoming wonderful. Okay. It is much faster than the conventional CPU that is there in the box, PC box. Okay, so let us move further. This is an interesting. So our ancient mathematicians were poets also. Coming to Bhaskaracharya too. Okay, so in the book of Lilavati, it is mentioned in one sloka. He has written when the book was written, and he is also mentioned when he came on this planet. Okay. I suggest you just note it down on the paper because it's very interesting. The sloka is Rasa, Guna, Purna, Mahisha. Numbers were represented in this. What is Rasa? Rasa has 6. The number 6 is associated with Rasa. Guna means there are 3 gunas. Okay, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So Rasa is 6, Guna is 3. That means 6, 3. Purna means round. So 0. So 6, 3, 0. Mahisha represents 1. Mahesha. Okay, 1. Okay, or sun, what we call it. Sun is Mahesha also 1. Right. So 6, 3, 0, 1. That was the number that you get. In this particular Shaka, that means the Hindu calendar Shaka, that year he was born on this planet. Now you may be wondering, how can that be 6301? Because it is not there. Shaka is less than 2000 now, and how can you think about 6000? No, they were very stylish that time. Okay, they never wrote the answer. Everything was in cryptic puzzle. Okay, they wrote everything in reverse. It's called as Vamatugati, not in normal order. Number you are getting is 6301. Actually, it should read from right to left. So what it becomes 1036. Okay, so he was born in Shaka 1036, converted to Krishna, add 78, it will become 1114. So 1114, he was born on this planet. Same thing, when he wrote this book, he is written there, Rasa, Guna. Now you can find out, Rasa is 6, Guna is 3, Varshena, that means at that age, I wrote this book, Siddhanta Shiromani. Okay, so what is the age you can guess? It's not 63, reverse. 36. At the age of 36, he wrote this particular. So it's written there. I was born in 1036 or 1114 AD, and I wrote this particular book at 36. So 19th century mathematician, German Weierstrass, okay, he commented that time, a mathematician who is also not something of a poet can never be a complete mathematician. So it's a stamping from the mathematicians of the world saying that we need to be poet also. Then only creativity can come. This is another prose. You see the Roman number there, LXX6. It becomes 50 plus 20 is 70, 76th kind of a prose in Lilavati. Lilavati is full of only proses, okay. It's fun to learn and teach, okay. This is a sloka which is real time. This is taken from the legendary thing, okay. It is between Arjuna and Karna. Arjuna killed Karna. Now the problem they put in a riddle form. What is that? How many bows and how many arrows did Arjuna use to kill Karna? And that was put in a cryptic thing. And the solution, if you want to solve it, you have to use quadratic equation. Just see here. The sloka is converted here. Arjuna became furious in the war, and in order to kill Karna, picked up some arrows. Now you have to find out how many arrows. Let the arrows be x square, because the next that follows is square root comes and divide by 2 comes. So x square is the best way to assume the variable. With half the arrows, that means x square by 2. He destroyed all of Karna's arrows. Okay. That means x square is equal to 1 part is x square by 2. And he killed all of Karna's horses with 4 times the square root of arrows. That means x square is a number, square root is x, 4 times is 4x. So therefore, right side number, like right side equation you are writing, x square by 2 plus 4x. And then he destroyed spear with 6 arrows. Another number comes. He used 1 arrow each to destroy top of chariot, flag, and bow of Karna. That means 3 arrows were used. And finally, 1 arrow was used to cut off Karna's head. So the equation is simple. So x square equal to x square by 2 plus 4x plus 6 plus 3 plus 1. And when you solve this, you will get a number of arrows used by Arjuna was 100. 100 arrows were required to kill Karna. And then it's a kind of depiction of saying how much strong was Karna. Okay, even to Arjuna's bows and arrows, Arjuna had to wait for 100 arrows to kill Karna. And on the other side, it becomes fun and then creative kind of a thing to understand the mathematics behind it. So that's how the mathematics was taught. It's not the abstract way that we learn now. Another one. Okay. Before going to this, we all know Lord Vishnu has 4 hands, and in that 4 hands he has 4 things in his hand: Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. So 4 things are there. Now, if I take it as a combinational problem and rotate these particular 4 items in 4 hands, how many possible forms of Vishnu is there? It's very simple. It's factorial 4. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. First hand has 4 options, second hand 3 options, third hand has 2 options, and fourth has 1 option. So therefore, 4 into 3 into 2 is 24. So 24 possible forms you will get from Vishnu, and then 24 is something which is connected to the names of Vishnu in Sandhya Vandana. That way they do, right? 24 names are taken there. Similarly, they tried to find out, this is the shloka that tells you how many possible combinations that Shiva can have. Shiva is assumed to have 10 hands, and all those 10 items were listed here. One is a trap, a gourd, a snake, a drum, a potsherd, a club, a spear, a missile, a arrow, and a bow. These are 10 items. Okay. So Lord Shiva is assumed to be having 5 heads and 10 hands. So how many possible idols of Shiva? Factorial 10. Similarly, possible idols for Vishnu, 4 hands, therefore 24. So that's it. Sandhya Vandanam daily ritual, 24 names of Lord Vishnu are recited. You can see this. This is very cryptic kind of. We are encoders also, encryption experts also, right? So to remember the pi, they gave out a sutra. Okay, so this is a beautiful romantic shloka kind of a thing. Okay, it reads out: the fortune of the gopi, the destroyer of the demon Madhu, protector of the cattle, the one who ventured into the ocean depths, destroyer of evildoers, with one with plow on the shoulders and the bearer of nectar. May you protect us. Okay, this is praising Krishna. Okay, at the same time remembering the value of pi. So how do I remember? So the Sanskrit version is given: Gopi Bhagya Madhuvrata okay, in Shringi sword. So I'm not going to read it because I'm not so good in Sanskrit also, right? So this particular sloka, they were encoded with this particular thing. Okay, it's called as Katapayadi Sankhya. Okay, you can see that column number 1. If at all you hit across the letter K, T, P, Y, right, you assign code number 1. K, K, T, for you can give code 2. Okay, like that G, D, B, L, you give 3. So like that you give 1 to 0, you have been encoding these things. In fact, K means what? It includes K, Taki, Ki, Kuku, everything is included in that. So converting this particular Gopi, Bhagya, Madhuvrata, Sringiso, Dadi, Sandhiga, you can just see, convert that, and bottom you'll get the value of pi. How many digits are there? Okay, so 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 9, 6. You can see long number was given, and of course, of the first digit you have to put a dot, decimal point. So they used to remember this in encrypted form also. What the dimension here to look at is, it's fun. We can have fun in mathematics also. And our ancient people knew how to make it fun. Okay, so they correlated with practical situations, and they used the support of poetry, nature, art, everything, and then made mathematics become very versatile. Okay, multidimensional kind of thing. Okay, visualization is also possible, and then fun is also there. So there is no chance that it will be forgotten, right? Now, this is the heritage we carry, mathematics, Indian heritage. What is it? What is it's written in beautiful sloka. Yatha Shikha Mayuranam means what? Yatha Shikha Mayuranam. Mayura means peacock, like a crest on the head of the peacock. Okay. Nagana Manayotha, like a gem on the head of a snake. Okay. So the gem on the snake head and the crest on the peacock, there is no match for these two. Okay, they stand supreme. Okay, so is mathematics at the head of all knowledges. Tadvad Vedanga Shastranam Ganitam Murdhani Sthitam. So mathematics is standing at the head of all knowledges. According to J.F. Herbert, mathematician from Europe, everything that the greatest minds of all times have accomplished towards the comprehension of forms by means of concepts is gathered into one great science, that is mathematics. Okay, so everyone has revered our Indian mathematics heritage, right, including Einstein and all the people. Now, coming to this particular thing, I'm very sorry to show that these are ZIF images. I don't know how to show it. Okay. In fact, I will share you this PPT itself without converting to PDF. I will share it. You can see that. Okay. There have been a lot of visual proofs for Pythagoras theorem. Okay. So you can see that on the right bottom side, a square is shown, and then the gray color shades are shown. You can match them up and try to see. So instead of looking at a right angle triangle, you look at as right angle triangle, one more triangle sitting on top, it becomes a rectangle kind of a thing. And you can visualize with a common formula of a square and b square kind of a thing. Okay, so this is also a ZIF image. I'm sorry, you can, a lot of ZIF images I have put it into this and then wanted to make it interesting, and I don't know how to take it, but yes, I will share it. You can enjoy leisurely, I can say. So Bodhayana is the one we can see, and he's written a book called Shalva Sutras, and surprisingly, the Shalva Sutras are available in National Digital Library. You can just knock into the doors of National Digital Library, sitting at the comfort of your home, and then download the books and see how ancient scriptures look like. Okay, they were written on palm leaf, and then now it is translated into text, and then it's been shown there. Similarly, you want to see this as a formula for a plus b whole square, right? You can see that as a plus b whole square, which can be seen as a square plus b square. You can have 4 blocks there, right? You can just convert it, right? A square is there, 1 block, b square is another block, and 2 blocks get duplicated with a into b and a into b. That's how the formula can be visualized as a square plus b square is equal to that. Coming to this a minus b, a square minus b square, if you want to solve, how do you do it? Okay. It's an interesting kind of a thing, which you can see it either as a plus b into a minus b also. You can, this is actually a ZIF image, okay. It will not convey any information seeing directly, but it's a ZIF image. It's very interesting. Okay. The second one is a square minus b square can also be seen as a into a minus b and b into a minus b. So this creative kind of a thing and giving visual depiction to the mathematics will get deep rooted. When you start teaching this in this visual form, it gets more deep rooted, and everyone, the students and the teacher, will have firm understanding, and never will you be again going back to the notes and then repeating it. They deeply get engraved inside, and learning happens very fun, right? It can be very fun kind of thing. Okay, similarly, you can see this is straight. A plus b plus c whole cube, simple. Yellow color dimension is a, pink color horizontal dimension is b, and other lighter shade of pink is having a dimension of c. A plus b plus c on top and a plus b plus c on the bottom. Okay, if I split them into blocks of squares and rectangles, it will be coming to as, you can just count it. There are how many squares in the diagonal? There are 3 squares. A square, b square, c square is there, and off diagonal you will see symmetricity is there. Okay, so AB are 2 in number, BC are 2 in number, CA are 2 in number. That's how you can depict this. There is no need to remember the expression for A plus B plus C whole square. Similarly, you can think for A plus B plus C whole cube also. I did not write the answer. Just count the blocks. There is one block of A cube, yes, write it. And another block of B cube, yes, write it. And in between there are 3 similar blocks. One is A square B and another is AB square. So 3A square B and 3AB square. You can just write it there, right? It's very, you can extend this to A plus B plus C whole cube also. You can see the problem here is you have to find out what is A plus B whole square minus A minus B whole square. You can depict it straight here. Okay, so A plus B whole square is this green color, and A minus B whole square is the same green color, but in between what are the small patches there? That's what we are interested in. Okay, so what does it mean? Subtraction of these two. You can see there, these 2 blocks are to be subtracted. Subtraction is what? Removing the centerpiece. You remove it. Okay, the centerpiece is A minus B whole square. You remove that. What is remaining is 4 blocks similar. AB, 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 AB. So 4 AB is remaining. Okay, so visual depiction is wonderfully working, and then you can have this as 4AB directly. If you solve, people are used to solving A plus B whole square minus A minus B. They are used to solve. Write A plus B whole square as A square plus B square plus 2AB, and then you write the other one, subtract it, cancel out the opposite ones, and what is remaining is 4AB. Instead of that, visually also you can see. So rather than making it work laboriously on paper, you can also depict visually. So why I am telling in this particular session of CSIT best practices is computer science is there, which can convert creative thinking into visual depiction. Okay, so there is a huge scope to look into this dimension for computer science and information science people. I'm not here to tell that computer science and information science should pick up mathematics skills or something. No, I'm not stating that fact. The fact here is you have a bigger role to play to support mathematics, I can say, because mathematics, that which is treated in an abstract way, is not going deep rooted. So only way to get deep rooted is use these visual depictions, and you are good in that. Okay, and why I don't say I am also there, because I am from electronics background. So you are at the base of it, okay, which is the heart of all digitization. You are at the base of it. Okay, similarly, you can see the depiction for A plus B whole square and A minus B whole square. You can see here A minus B whole square is coming there, and you can see that extra B square part is seen as part of AB, and yeah, somebody's mic is on. Mr. Girish.
Girish, could you mute your mic, please? Mr. Girish? Girish Bidarali, please mute your mic.
Thank you.
So please go ahead.
Yeah. Offline classes, we are used to listening to the sound. In online, one sound coming, we get disturbed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So moving on, this is another interesting thing which you can, this is also ZIF image. Okay, you can see the circle on top. If I roll it across from one starting point to the last point, it's like stretching. I draw a line across it. I draw a straight line whose length is 2 pi r, I can say. And if I cut that particular circle from the piece that is shown and stretch it out, okay, so what happens? It becomes a triangle kind of a thing. And area of the circle can be got from the area of the triangle. So what is the height of the triangle? R. What is the base of the triangle? 2r, because it's 2 pi r, because circumference, right? 2 pi r base and height is r. So 2 pi r into r is the area of the triangle. Because it is triangle, there should be 2 at the bottom, denominator. So 2 pi r into r by 2. 2 gets cancelled, area is pi r square. Okay, so that's how it is. This is a depiction through visual way. Similarly, parabolas can be visualized. Okay, so there is no way to show it because it's a ZIF image. So I'm not going to convert this into PDF and share it. I'll share it directly PPT because you will love that particular ZIF images. Okay, so now you can see the sum of first n odd numbers is n square. You can see the triangle, you can take it out and put together, it will become n square. Simple. The vertical line in between, what you see, make 2 pieces and then join them together. Okay, break. You will find that it's going to be a circle, or you bend it from the center. You bend it. It becomes what? Square. N square. First n numbers is n square. Okay. Sum of first n positive integers is n into n plus 1 by 2. Yeah, this you can do it. Simple. This is visual depiction. This is another theorem. 1 cube plus 2 cube plus n cube is 1 plus 2 plus 3 n square. Like you can 1 cube is 1 block and 2 cube is you depicted there. Okay, 2 blocks, and then continue. You can make a square of it. Just you can see depiction here on the right side, a full square. It is going in a pyramidal kind of a thing. Okay, small piece is added up to it, and then it becomes a pyramid kind of a structure. And yes, some of this is also ZIF image. What you can do is you can reverse write below it. Okay, n. Okay, n will come first, and then 1 will go to the right, and then add a vertical. All numbers will become n plus 1, n plus 1, n plus 1, n plus 1. Because you're writing twice, you have to take it n into n plus 1 by 2. So you can get the answer there. Okay, so now coming to this shape descriptors, here also we can have a lot of visualization. Now, obviously the first one is a square, second is a circle. What to see in this basically? So if I want to know, or if I tell you, imagine a square, the thing that you want to know is only one number, and that number should be side of the square. If I tell circle, you need to know only one number, and that number is representative of a radius. If I ask you to imagine an equilateral triangle, you need only one number, and that number is one side of the triangle. What is the dimension of it? Rectangle, you need 2 numbers, base and height. Okay. Similarly, rhombus, only one number you need to know, and maybe another 2 along with that. What is the vertical diagonal and horizontal diagonal? They are perpendicular to each other. What is the length of that? Okay. Trapezoid, you need to know the horizontal lengths too, and then height. So maybe top height is A, bottom height is B. You need to know A, B, and height H you should know. Similarly, octagon, okay, regular polygon, whatever is there, you need to know one number, that is side of it. So these are all global kind of issues. What does it mean? If I tell you, imagine a square of side A, you need not know more than that. You can very well catch up what is that I am talking. If I tell you, imagine a circle of radius r, you need not know anything extra. So therefore, these are the shapes which have single descriptor and global descriptor. There's nothing, no confusion around it. Now, coming to the next one. So, first one.
Sir, you're not audible. There seems to be some problem with the network. So I think it's hanging. Could you reset, please? Subhash, sir?
Ma'am, is it muted for him?
No, it's hanging, madam. The screen also is not moving. His video is also not moving.
Ma'am, please call Subhash
Yeah,
sir over
I'm
phone.
calling up. I'm calling him up. Just a moment. He's doing it. Yeah. Just a couple of minutes. Professor Subhash is resetting. Just bear with us for 2 minutes. He'll be back in a couple of minutes. He's setting it up. So yeah, screen is visible.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm not seeing anything here.
No, screen is not visible. You're visible, sir. You're audible too. Yeah.
My screen is visible now? No.
Not yet, not yet.
1 second. Let's see. I will join again.
Yes, sir. So your screen is visible now. So you muted.
Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Perfect. Yes.
Okay, right. So sorry for that. It is not expected in institution. It went off, net went off and then came back. Okay. So what I mean to say here is there are certain shapes which can have, which possess global descriptors. There are certain shapes which are not possessing global descriptors. Now, how do I present this to the students or an engineer, right? So what is missing here? Finally, the engineer wants a representation of anything that is coming in front of him. And when you talk about representation, it can be in terms of shape, in terms of an algebraic expression, or whatever it is that is coming here. You can see here the star shape, the concave shape, the irregular shape, the three things, they are what you can say, they don't possess global descriptor. You need to describe them point by point. Okay. So if I say the irregular kind of a shape, you need to describe everything. It has two peaks, and then draw a vertical line, and then dot. All those kind of things will come into it. Why that is possible? Why that is to be followed? Because it doesn't possess a global descriptor. So what is the best way you need to see? As mathematicians, we need to know which particular shapes are possible to describe in one word and or one particular parameter, and which particular shapes need to be described in multiple ways. Okay, for example, this is another one. A set of 3 straight lines. So how do I describe these 3 straight lines in one particular word? If at all this is a challenge being put, then obviously we struggle around. Okay, we try to find out the equation of line A, line B, line C, and then try to find out what is common and try to. But in fact, if we are visually and conceptually communicating this and making the student to understand what a line means, then things become easy. What is that we can communicate? It is just a slope. If we mention, then we can describe the 3. So 3 lines assume means I can give only value of slope. M is the slope of line A, M2 line B, M3 line C, and that's sufficient to describe. So therefore, straight lines have only one parameter to be used that can describe them globally. Similarly, an exponential is one which can be described globally using time constant values. Okay, you can see the term inside the parenthesis, that is exponential minus R T by L. So therefore, if we can move that R bottom, it will become minus T divided by L by R. So this L by R is the one which is varying or scaling, upscaling or downscaling the time axis. So therefore, this L by R is considered as time constant. Okay, so this L by R governs the rise of exponential or fall of exponential. So therefore, time constant is the one which describes exponential curves. Slopes, slopes are the one which describe the straight lines. So similarly, you can see these different things. You can see at the bottom, one particular 3 exponentials are there, where exponential is scaled with 0.5 and then 2 and plus 0.5. So therefore, you have the exponential taking long time to decay, short time to decay, and medium time to decay. You can find out that. So there are global descriptors which you need to follow. Okay, if at all global descriptors are not there, what to do? Then things come into this picture. Okay, see here. I can only tell whether there is a concavity or convexity here, but I can't describe the shape. Largely speaking, for qualitative purpose, I can say it is an egg shape, a donut shape, or maybe a mirror piece being broken, or a pentagon, something like hexagon, something like that I can tell. But if I want to describe them, if I want to use it for a purpose of analysis or something, then I don't have a global descriptor like a square. Giving a side A is sufficient. I don't have that kind of a thing. So I need to use something else. So what is that is used? For local, we use curvature kind of a description, right? Fortunately, I had written this earlier before the session. It is there, right? So let me take the donut shape here. I have represented 6 points there, A, B, C, D, E, F. If I take E, A, B, C, E and F, all are convex. Okay, whereas D is concave. Now, at these positions, there is something called as a local measure that is available, that is facilitated. Curvature is the measure that we take. Simplest definition of curvature is 1 by R. R represents the radius of the disk. It's a disk that if I can assume a disk is there which can be stretched along and the radius can be reduced or increased, then I take the disk and try to fit it on the curve. So at the point of D, I am fitting a disk from outside. Okay, and if some small portion of the D fits into the circle, then I say, okay, this particular portion is a concave portion because it is fitting from outside and having a curvature of 1 by R. That R radius is found from the disk radius. Okay, now just see. Example at the bottom, a straight line. What is the disk radius you have to use to fit there? You have to have a very large disk with infinite radius, then you can represent a straight line. So therefore, curvature of straight line is 1 by R, R tending to infinity, that is 1 by infinity, and it is 0. But here in the donut shape, you have finite curvature. At C, the point C, if you take it, the disk radius is required is R1 and it is convex. Convex means curvature is positive. So value is 1 by R1. At D, the disk is fitting from outside, therefore concave. Curvature is negative because it is concave and the value is 1 by R2. So this kind of local descriptors are there which are facilitating everything. So these are very, very important from research perspective or bringing in detailing into the teaching and other things. this visual depiction of these. If one can catch up, it becomes very profound kind of experience one can have. Similarly, this is another interesting thing. I will see if how I can communicate this without writing on that. Okay, so the problem here is there's a point P, the black dot, which is to be represented in space. Now the problem in hand is represent point P in space. So what do we need? First thing, we need to represent the space, because it's a point that can be imagined, that can be felt, that can be sensed. I am good at imagining a 3D space. So when I say 3D space, I naturally take three vectors, X, Y, and Z, assume them to be perpendicular. Okay. So I know very well, if a point P is given, by something called as projection operation, I can find the components of P. The components of P can be A, B, C, or small x, small y, small z in this particular example. That is very easy. If it is taken from a mathematical perspective, then I need to use vectors to represent space, and the vectors are orthogonal. So the space is represented as vector x, vector y, vector z. Now the operation you need to do for finding the components of P is dot product. Okay.
There seems to be a problem again. Let's wait for him. So screen is visible, sir. Please unmute. So you're muted. You're muted, sir. Could you unmute, please?
Yeah, now it's audible.
Yeah, it is, sir. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I hope this is not disturbing much, but we have to live with it. It's a virtual way. Okay. So this is what is the objective? We see, understand the subtlety between mathematics and engineering mathematics. Okay, pure mathematics and engineering. Pure mathematics here, if we talk, it's about vector algebra and vector spaces, vector notation, everything will come. When I talk about engineering, it comes projection, inner product, all these things will come. So when I move on further, I will see that there is a need to understand this particular dot product operation for system analysis, for signal analysis that we have. Okay, let me not go deep into that because it requires interactive presentation and description. Okay, forget it, not to worry. I will complete this and send it to you, no problem. So understand that a point representation requirement is a space for it, and the operation for analyzing it is a dot product operation. If I see that as a requirement for our engineering applications, we need to convert that as projection operation, and we need to port this dot space to what a signal. Let me show you here. For example, this is what is a typical signal space. So for a vector, okay, for a point I use three-dimensional axis, but for an arbitrary signal I need a similar space which can accommodate this arbitrary signal. That's called a signal space. Okay, so probably you are all aware that there is a first harmonic that is used, and then second harmonic, third harmonic, fourth harmonic. It kind of this fundamental kind of signal space is used. Here sinusoidal space is used, its harmonic versions are used, and these are similar to the reference axis that are there as X, Y, and Z. Okay, so if I can port that vector algebra to signal space, visually understand what the kind of operation is. The operation there also is projection, here also is projection. The operation is there, one point is projected, here the whole signal, a stretch of signal is projected. We should understand this. If we understand this difference, then it boils down to a very simple statement. What is that? If a point is to be represented, it becomes an instance of representation. But if a signal is to be represented, it becomes a representation of several instances, I can call it, stretched over time. Okay, so representation of instantiations, we call it. So that's how this transform has come into picture. Fourier transform, Fourier series, all these things have come up when visual interpretation, conceptual interpretation was rendered to point representation in space. Okay, similarly you can see sine series here, right? You have 50 hertz, 100 hertz, 150 hertz, 200 hertz. What does it mean? First harmonic is 50 hertz, second harmonic is 100, 2 into 50, third harmonic is 3 into 50, fourth harmonic is 4 into 50. This is showing how a square is represented as sum of odd harmonics. Okay, so without ZIF, it doesn't have any meaning. Okay, animated presentation. So that projection operation, what we talked, okay, or the dot product operation, now has evolved into something called as Fourier series or Fourier transform representation, right? So that's how you can do this. Okay. Yeah, somebody has chatted saying that I'm going to share. Yes, you will get right away. I'll request Vanisri madam to share the slides instantly because they want to relive the thing offline. I will immediately share it after the session.
Yes, sir, definitely. Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is what is reality. Right side is a beautiful structure which is very, very comfortable as pure mathematics. Left side is engineering. Okay. The left wave is engineering, right wave is mathematics. Now I have to use mathematics into my discipline to make everything mathematically acceptable. Remember, engineering cannot exist unless and until it is mathematically accepted. Okay, it has to have a proof, it has to have a what you can say, lemma kind of a thing. If not, under the limits of error, tolerance, everything, it should have a framework to present. So therefore, an arbitrary signal, realistic signal will look like this. I don't know what to do with it. So what I do, I try to port in the mathematics into that and then try to find out how much is part of fundamental wave, how much is part of first harmonic, how much is part of second harmonic, third harmonic, like that. All these things I try to analyze and do it. So finally, I try to break down an arbitrary signal into a representable type of signals. All this is possible to do without much effort if the concepts and visual dimensions of mathematics is in place. Okay, so what is the dimension, visual dimension? Projection operation. And what is the mathematics behind it? Dot product or vector product operation, right? So that's how you can connect it. Similarly, when we come to systems, modeling a system is a big area where people work. Maybe any engineering discipline you take it, modeling is very, what you can say, hot topic kind of a thing. We generally work with static and dynamic systems. We work with something called as control systems. In the race, we work with so much of unrealistic signals. Okay, so all these things are the basic ingredients of engineering domain, you can say. So deterministic system versus stochastic, if you can see the difference, deterministic model means output and input are perfectly related to each other. If the relation is missing, then you have to see statistics. You have to count the statistics. So problem with the current trend, machine learning and then artificial intelligence, what is coming, amount of data that is coming in is huge. Several CCTV cameras are there, several sensors are there, several things are there everywhere, wherever walk through in a public place or anything, huge amount of data is getting generated. Through satellite also data is generated. So what is happening is you cannot even imagine to create an input-output relation between them. It's impossible because the volume of dimension data is so high. Even if one set of data, one fraction of data is fitting into a framework, it is not guaranteed that the entire volume of data will fit into it. So therefore, deterministic kind of models have become a rare kind of an entity in the present era. In early days, we were comfortable, but nowadays it has become a rare phenomenon. Only in hardware control kind of a thing, it is still existing, but in software and I think it is not existing. So therefore, everything has moved on to stochastic or statistical relations that you have to find out. Okay, the only theory that is getting strong in knowing this is probability theory and then statistical theory, right? So resemblances and then other factors we need to explore from that. Okay, so what is the difference between static and dynamic modeling? So one of the example I can show you about dynamic modeling. In fact, I don't know whether it is there. No, it's not there. Okay, fine. Let me tell you. We are all used, in school days, we are used to something called as physics experiment. I think you can recollect. If not, you might have seen a textbook also. You can recollect from that. I will just show you. Assume that this is a metallic plate. If a metallic plate is taken, okay, and a candle is put below it, right, you know that phenomena. When the candle is lit, what will happen to the metal plate? The metal plate gets hot. If I have certain measure around that, the measure is something like, I want to measure the temperature at every different point on the plate. Okay. Now, so what is the requirement? Dynamic requirement. Let us look from engineering point of view. How do I have a profile of the temperature? I know very well at the point where the candle is just below, that temperature is high. As I move away from that point, temperature will come down. So therefore, one thing is sure, temperature is not uniform in the plate. So how do I measure? Every moment heat is being supplied, every moment temperature is rising. So this is definitely a dynamic model. How can I make it happen? So fundamentally, if we start, a plate is what? A plane for me. Mathematically speaking, it's a plane. I don't need 3 axes. I need only 2 axes, X and Y. Okay. So X, Y governs the dimension of the plate. So X, Y also is indicating which particular point you are measuring the temperature. Got it? Second thing, the whole idea here is to measure the temperature. So therefore, output variable is theta, temperature measurement. And it is governed by several things. What are those? With time, temperature is rising. I'm not taking temperature or heat as one of the factors because heat is measured. Okay. Now, how is that I have to do? So there is a need to find out with X and Y temperature is varying. Therefore, there is a need to accommodate a function which is a function f, which is having argument of the plane. Plane is 2 dimensional. Therefore, f is having argument x comma y. And the third argument is it is varying with time. So therefore, third argument is t. So temperature measure is a function of x comma y comma t. T is time. Okay. Now, how do I model this particular thing? So I only know that there is a function and its arguments are known. I only know that the output variable is temperature. How do I create a mathematical framework for it? Okay, this is called as heat diffusion experiment. We have all gone through it, right? So if I want to know what is the profile of the temperature on that, then I should know what is the CF. Okay, so how do I model this system? When you don't know the function, the general approach mathematicians adopt is they resort to analysis kind of. Analysis means what? That which gives you a unique measure for it. Suppose a vehicle is moving on the road. If I want to analyze it, I can give only speed of it or velocity of it. So how do I measure? Distance x covered over time. So x by t, I get the value of speed. So therefore, or if the vehicle is moving with different variations in speed, then automatically average speed, if you want to find out, then you have to use differential measure. Okay, so it's very simple. First order differential gives you the slope. Second order differential gives you the acceleration. Like that. These are the only two things which are sufficient for modeling any dynamic system. Okay. So this theta equal to f of x comma y comma t. If at all you want to model it, then you have to depend upon differential equation. I think I have made the point established here. Without differentiation, you cannot model. If you don't want to differentiate, you need to have expression for f of x comma y comma t. You don't have expression. So the only way is to go for differential dependence. So there is a differential measure. What are the components in that? X, y, and t. X, y are space parameters. T is time parameter. So I need to know how the function is varying with respect to x and y. I need to know how the function is varying with respect to time. So therefore, I need to establish a relation which is time related versus. Let me move further. Okay, I'll come to this later. Let me show you here. Yeah, here we are. Yes, okay, we got it, right. So there is a requirement for let's see, this is the same function being shown for a 3 dimension x, y, z, and t. Okay, I need to study about time variation. So u is a function, dou u by dou t I want. Then I need to worry about space variation, x, y, z, all those things will come. So they need to be related. Now just observe how comfortable we engineers look at this problem. Okay, so differentiation, we have not taken du by dt, we have taken dou u by dou t. First level approximation, because we assume all variations in space, all variations in environment are independent of the other arguments. If something is varying with respect to y, I don't consider it as varying with x. So therefore, y and x, I keep it independent. Why that independence test? Because when I mix up double dependency, I complicate myself. Okay, so you may challenge saying that how can you guarantee the accuracy? It's very simple. When I have sacrificed the accuracy itself, because I am not looking at representation, I am not looking at representation, I am looking at approximation. Please understand, engineers cannot work with representation. Engineers have to work with approximation, because reality is full of noise and disturbances. I have to approximate. So when you talk about representation, accuracy matters. When you talk about approximation, error within tolerance matters. Okay, so I am trying to tolerate myself within the error. So when I am already tolerating some error, I will tolerate little more. Instead of differentiation, I go for partial differentiation. Okay, so that is first level of it. Second thing, okay, Cross differentiation I am avoiding because I am assuming that x and y and z are independent of each other. Therefore, cross differentiation. What is that? Dou square u by dou x dou y. These kind of expressions I will not use. Okay. So what are the left outs? Either I can use dou square u by dou x square, or I can use dou square u by dou y square, or I can use dou square u by dou z square, or single difference dou u by dou z, dou y by dou z, dou u by dou y, dou u by dou z. These kind of things you can. So I am eliminating all complicated things and bringing them together. So what is left out now? This particular diffusion problem, what we are talking, okay, requires one-dimensional variation in time. That's the left side, and second-dimensional variation in space. That's how the expression comes to dou u by dou t equal to k dou u dou square u by dou x square. Okay, so I'm just telling you how much is the difference between applied maths and pure maths. Applied maths means what? I am molding the available mathematics for my application, knowing very well that I am having errors in that. But only one thing I am taking care is those errors are tolerable. Okay, another beautiful example. This I have, with all due regards to Professor P, and I have taken that example from his lecture. Sometime I heard long back. This is very common. Most of his students might have heard about it, right? So there are two persons, A and B. They are standing at a distance of 500 meters. Okay. So now I want to build a mathematical algorithm. What is the algorithm? The algorithm is A and B simultaneously move and they come close to each other. Okay. One iteration I consider as covering half the distance. That means initial position is 500 meters. Moment they come to 250 meters, I assume as one iteration. Second time they come to 125 meters, I assume as two iterations complete. From 125 they come to 62.5 meters, it is three iterations. Now, the problem is how many iterations are required for A and B to come together. Okay, so definitely you will be thinking a lot, calculating all the mathematical background and coming and trying to see how much will be the answer. So some of you may take time, you may take a sheet and start writing, will spend half an hour, 5 minutes, 2 minutes or something. You will give some answer by your own way of justification. Okay, so this is an open problem. Many people have given different answers. Many people said some more data is required. Okay, this is what is available. Extra data, I can't give it. Now, if I say 10 iterations is sufficient, then the reverse answer comes. What is that? Counter argument will come. How can you say 10 arguments? What do you say? Because as an engineer, I tell 10 iterations is sufficient. Why? Because whatever distance they come across, that is close enough. As an engineer. But from a scientific perspective, when you talk about that, then there is a clash. If I say 1 meter, science person will say, why not 0.5? If I say 0.5, why not 0.25? If I say 0.25, why not 0.125? It goes on, right? Because precision is important. So science is close to mathematics. Whereas applied mathematics is using mathematics at an approximation level. So therefore, please understand the difference here. Applied maths and pure maths. Applied math is helping you to realize the technology. Pure maths is required to give justification to the technology. Remember this. I can't neglect both. Both are important. So this is a very beautiful example which PN sir has given and many other people also have quoted. It is a representative example to show how science and engineering clash with each other. And this clash is another example that goes in space technology also. If a spacecraft goes to if a satellite is launched in space, then the space agency will say scientists are successful. Okay, if the spacecraft doesn't reach the space and falls down and get crashed, then technology is failure. Technology means what? Technology is not the right or domain of engineers only. Technology is support of science and engineering both. Okay, this is very common example. Nowadays, people are aware about it, and this kind of similes are not used now. Okay, so understand. I was mentioning in the beginning of the lecture that partial differential equation is close to my heart, right? And I am not an exponent of partial differential equation. This is the only equation that you can see. First order differentiation in time related to second order differentiation in space is the only equation that has fascinated and driven the entire engineering, I can say. Only equation. If at all you are talking in civil, mechanical, electrical, electronics, anything you take it, anything you want to look as a phenomena within, suppose electrical means phenomena within the conductor. Electronics means phenomena within the diode, within the transistor. If at all you want to study, diffusion equation is the one. This is a diffusion equation called first order time and second order space relation. This is diffusion equation. This is the only equation used in engineering. If you are trying to study anything inside the material. If you want to study anything outside the material, for example, a signal is going on in a cable, let us say. What is the effect of it outside it? You want to study this effect of outside it, then you will use another partial differential equation, which is slightly different from that. What is the slight difference between that? There you use second order time, and you see here, second order space. I have shown you both equations. 1D means space is one dimensional, 2D means space is two dimensional, 3D means three dimensional. Three equations will come. Wave equation is similar to that. You can see here difference between heat diffusion equation and wave equation. Diffusion equation talks about studying the event happening inside the material for engineering. Whereas wave equation studies the effect of that outside the material. Okay, so these are the only two equations which we study. We have done away with differential equations. We have resorted to partial differential equations. We have made our life comfortable. And yes, the solutions are very much acceptable. The results what you get is very much within the tolerable limits. Okay, that's what I can say. Both are in harmony. Science and mathematics is also in harmony. Technology and engineering is also in harmony. So coexistence is required. We cannot run away from saying that I am an engineer. I don't want to talk to scientists and I don't want to talk mathematics. No. And I am an engineer. I want to look only into my core discipline subjects. I don't want to talk mathematics. It doesn't work. Mathematics is going to come. Okay, so with due respect for computer science and information science, the kind of inputs what I get from students, earlier days it used to be like, hey, electronics engineer means you only work with mathematics. Okay, with computer science we are happy, we don't have mathematics kind of thing. This kind of statements used to come. But now remember, we have to neither work with mathematics, pure mathematics, nor we have to work with work without it. What we are ending up now is total statistical mathematics, where data doesn't have any relation. You have to explore, break your head and find the relation. Okay, so you got to resort to statistical analysis and probability theory. That's what is coming here, right? Okay, so one more extension of this, and I will complete this partial differential equation. Okay, another domain is there. Hopefully, I will cover that also. What is that particular extension of this is? You saw time variation related to space variation. If there is no time variation, then the first order time variation and the second order time variation, whatever you saw in wave equation and heat equation, that is equal to 0. So what does it mean? There is no time variation means it is equilibrium. It is steady state. It is not affected by time. For example, you take a photograph, passport photograph, going to a studio, and that photograph is printed and kept. It will remain unless and until it is spoiled by termites or particular insects or the color fades away. Till that time it maintains. So therefore it is not affected by time. Are you getting that? So that equation also has an importance. 3 equations govern engineering. Remember that. Partial differential. Number 1, diffusion equation. Number 2, wave equation. Number 3, steady state equation of diffusion. Steady state means time variation is not there, only space variation, and that is equal to Laplace equation. These 3 equations dominate the entire engineering discipline. Let it be computer science, information science, electronics, civil, mechanical, name whatever you want, it is going to be there. Only these 3 equations. There is nothing other than these 3 when it comes to differential equation, partial differential equation. Okay. And for computer science, good news is we never aim at solving these equations. Another very interesting comfort zone for engineers, I can say. We have given such complicated equations, right? Wave equation, diffusion equation, and Laplace equation. There is no need to look at the solution of this. because the solution of these have never been of importance to engineers. It has never been an importance to engineers, right? Their only importance, they govern still the importance in pure mathematics domain and pure science domain. But for engineers, the solution of these have never been of importance to us, right? So what has been importance to us is convert that into finite difference approximations, right? So if you see this particular middle equation, what is written, I convert that into finite difference equation, that is ut plus 1 minus ut by delta t. Okay, now imagine, for example, that denominator delta t is 1. So what will happen? Ut plus 1, I shift the ut to the right side. So ut plus 1 equal to ut plus whatever value we are getting it. Now, what is this equation? It is like our age-old, in any algorithm you take it, computer science. S is equal to S plus 1 or X equal to X plus 1. What is that X on the right side? It is old value. On the left side, it is new value. So new value of U is equal to old value plus something error, some error. So this has been numerically, the last equation, if you see, it is new U is equal to old U plus some quantity that you're looking at. Okay. That's, you're coming to mathematics, the comfort zone of algorithms, right? So this is what is the one which is dominating in every engineering discipline. Now we have moved from analog to digital world, and this has been the foundation or the equation that has been governing us and making us go headstrong. Remember, we have accepted error as a reality. But responsibility of engineer is that that error should be kept within limits, within toleration. That's what we need to look at. So that's what PD in real world, so many domains are there. Don't worry, they don't use, all these domains have been using only 3. Laplace and especially electronics use all 3. Because communication is governed by wave equation, electronics is governed by diffusion equation. But any other discipline you take, there are only 2 equations. One is diffusion, second is Laplace. So take any discipline you have, it uses only this. Okay. So only 2 equations matter. PDE means don't think that you need to pick up a book of partial differential and start reading it. No need. Only 2 equations, and you need to know how to implement. This is one implementation of it. I'm not interested in solution also. I'm interested in only implementation of this. This is what is engineering is dominating about, right? So Laplace equation and diffusion equation. Image processing example I have taken. Laplace equation governs all these applications of enhancement, zero crossing detection. Diffusion equations talks about model-based segmentation, in-painting, scale space, all those things that comes into picture, right? You want to blur something, blur an image, that is scale space. You want to protect the edges and blur it, that is nonlinear diffusion. You want to extract an object by model launching a curve and a thing, it is model-based segmentation. In painting, there is a disturbance in, I want to repair the image. There are some cracks in the image. I want to fill it. How do I do it? I do it by in painting. All these are governed by only diffusion equation. Remember that. I was surprised to see when I was doing my research. Later on, I tried to consolidate how many areas this diffusion equation is impacting. Only in image processing, if I see, I lost the count. I could clearly count there are 12 disciplines in which diffusion equation is governing in image processing, but every now and then new things are coming in, and it's a variation of diffusion equation, nothing else. Right? Okay, so PD is in practice. This is all digital. Assume that the data is digital. Okay, if I know how the data is related to each other, I prefer the upper path. Okay, that is time evaluation path. If I don't know the relation of the data within the data amongst them, I'm unable to find out what is the relation between them, then I prefer the lower one. That means I transform from the existing space to another space, and then there I try to solve it. For example, a given arbitrary signal is there. You want to find out what frequencies are there. You can't do it just by seeing the waveform. It's not possible. You have to take Fourier transform and then tell what all frequencies are there. You want to tell the shape of the waveform, you can just see and tell. So you need not change the domain of it. So this is what is represented. If you are working in the domain, it is only convolution or projection or dot product. That's it. Or implementation like S is equal to S plus something. Okay. If it is not related, Then you take up transformation. Fourier transform, wavelet transform, what all transforms you have, take it and move on. Finally, the goal of any engineer is given a signal, you need to analyze it. Coming back from analysis to signal is synthesis. So therefore, you have everywhere forward transform, backward transform. Both are there. Okay, so this is an example, staying in the domain, right? I'm not changing the domain, just smooth, making the edges sharper. You can see it. And this is what is another example of diffusion equation. You see the lower equation, it's a partial differential equation. I'm not telling you what the equation is. Just see. There is a rose in the garden picture, which has to be extracted. See how difficult it is. Okay. So a lot of variations are there. So what I do, I take a model, I launch a curve across it and make the curve move further and sit on the flower. So can I do this? So that particular final coverage of the curve represents the rose. Okay. Not a single leaf is being encountered there, only rose. But I can't launch the curve far off. It has to be in the vicinity. Refinement is to be done. So this is model-based segmentation. Model here is the curve, interactively initiated curve, which propagates, evolves, and then sits on the boundary. Okay, possible. By what? Diffusion equation. Key diffusion. Let's see. And this equation is not solved. I use it like new equal to old plus something. I use it for that. And it works beautifully. It gives a beautiful result. This is what is extraction, segmentation application of diffusion equation. Okay, let me not talk about this. This is something levels. I'll just give a brief of it. See, in this particular rows, I have launched a curve. Now, how do I handle this curve? The curve is handled in this C. It's like a white line drawn on the blackboard. I want to propagate. I want to make it move, shrink it or expand it. I cannot do just like that. In computer science perspective, in the gridded perspective, I can't do just like that. I need to convert into a higher dimension. Okay, higher dimension is I create a distance map of it. Distance map is shown in the middle one, and 3D version of that is it's like a cone. The center point of the circle is the lowest point, and as I go from that, I reach the corners and become larger and larger circles. So if I assign a distance of 0 at the center and keep giving distances 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then the 3D version, you can see it looks like a cone. Okay, now the problem is very simple here. Wherever the boundary is there, okay, I have this as a line. I cut it here. This is what is the 0. That red line, what you see, is the point of interest, and that's what is representing the curve, circle. If I pull the cone down and keep the red line there only, then the circumference covered by the red line will be a bigger circle. If I push the cone up, the circumference covered by the red line will be a smaller circle. Do you see this point? Just by moving the cone up and down, I can get a feel of evolving the curve. Curve can be expanded or curve can be shrinked. Can you see this point? This beautiful point, right? So as I move up and down, I can make the curve to come down or move big or come down or big. But now what I have, it should go and sit on the very, very what I can say, irregular kind of a boundary. How do I ensure that? There I have to take the information from the image also, mix it to this curve, and then make it solve to that. That's what you see. The equation, for example, in the bottom equation, you can see the first one, divergence of gradient of phi. What you see, phi is what? The distance map function. This is governed to the curve. But the next one, I naught C1, I naught C2, and C1, C2, what you see, these are the values derived from the image. Okay, don't worry what they are. I'm not going to discuss here. I'm just telling you these are the information drawn from the image. The first term is drawn from the circle, and both are mixed up together to address a problem of segmentation. And they're made to fit in the framework, and the framework is diffusion equation. Can you see this visual articulation of the thing in a beautiful way? And then it becomes very interesting, right? You'll never get bored by seeing this kind of visual concepts in mathematics. I'm sure with these particular perspectives, you are going to see natural. And how is another example I'll see? This is an example. Same version is taken, model curve is launched across the circle, and we have evolved into such extent you launch the curve wherever you want, but it goes and splits into 2 regions. Okay. Even if it is launched in the corner, it goes, covers the flower, and it goes, covers the background. Okay, can you see this part? Let me tell you. The resultant one, rose extracted. So what are the regions? There are only two regions. One region covering the rose, other is background. Outside that is background, right? Can I get this flower image into two parts? Yes. Foreground is flower, background is rest of the thing. So yes, it has extracted. Can you see this? Not even a single piece of the grass is being reflected. Maybe small structures are there, but perfectly taken out. In the second one, the background image, the bottom line, second image you see, flower missing. I can do, instead of extracting or dividing the image into two regions, I can divide into four regions also. How do you divide four regions? Two circles. I use it, it divides into four. Now just see the same flower image, extracted into four. It extracts the dry kind of grass structure, it extracts the flower, it extracts the green color structure, and it extracts totally empty structure also. Right? So there are several areas which you can relate it. One of the area where I have worked, I have presented it, but you can find out this huge conceptual and visual math level understanding is very much required, and it has deep rooted in pattern analysis and recognition, natural language processing, statistical analysis and probability theory, foundations in machine learning, deep learning, AI, real analysis, list goes on. So much of the things. Okay. So I have missed out one particular area here, that is calculus of variations, which is there in the slides because of paucity of time and then sliding back and forward. I'm just leaving it to you to go through it. Okay. So calculus of variations and partial differential equations are the main areas which are hugely used by engineers, you can say. Calculus of variation uses the framework. Partial differential equation gives you the exact equation with which you can work, similar to your algorithmic equation, like S new is equal to S old plus some quantity. Okay. Now, from the perspective of NEP 2020, what are the challenges that we have when it comes to mathematics as a subject? Wonderfully said, Professor P. Nagbhushan in his inaugural lecture, session 1, day before I happened to attend it. He has given a wonderful example. I've taken the same example here. Doing away with memorization and get deep rooted with understanding. 7 plus 7 is 14. This is something similar to memorization. Or 7 into 7 is 49. How that 49 has come, if you ask answer, my teacher told me. That's the answer that we get. And I very well remember that if I don't by heart this, I will get scolded in the class. That's what is the answer. Don't ask me how. Okay. I remember one of my friend was narrating a story. His niece, very small, like about 6 years or something. Okay. She got hold of a calculator. Okay. And she learned from her sibling how to operate a calculator. Okay. And she found, instead of memorizing, it was fun. 2 into 2 was giving 4 as an answer, and she was just like memorizing all the multiplication tables, 5 ones are, 5 twos are, 5 threes are, and 7 ones are, like that. But suddenly when she took the calculator, one more calculator she came across, similar type, and she bought that calculator and gave it to, it looks like he gave it to her uncle, maternal uncle, and said, "Uncle, there is one key that is missing in this calculator." And that uncle was surprised. "Which key?" He said. "За key is missing." "За key? What is that za key?" "Za, we don't know, right? What is za key in calculator, right? Does anyone know what is za key in calculator? No one knows, right? And he was surprised. What is that key? Then he took the calculator and asked, "Which key?" Then that niece pointed, "This is what is the key. That za key is missing." "You know what is za?" In multiplication, kids by heart like 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. That za is nothing but equal to sign, right? That equal to sign was erased on the key, and the kid was saying that za key is missing. Right? The kid doesn't know that is equal to, right? Because it is only knowing how to by heart things. That's what is a concept, and understanding is missing, right? So don't be under the impression that you have to search for the Zaki or something. And conceptually and understanding level are proper and visual things are proper, we will refrain from using that za kind of word. Okay, 2 1 za 2, 2 2 za 4. 2 times 2 is 4, like that. It's time for us to change that particular multiplication table kind of concept. 8 1 za 8. No, don't tell. 8 8 1 za 8, 8 2 za 16. Don't tell it. 8 1 time is 8. 2 times 8 is 16. 3 times 8 is 24. That's the right way to tell, to make sure that memorization is done away. Understanding dawns there. Okay, so various ways. 17 into 7 is 119, right? Those who are good in multiplication can immediately tell. But if you look from a different understanding perspective, what P. sir was mentioning, this is what is the high time we need to come up. And NEP looks at this particular thing. Okay, so 10 plus 7 into 7, if you take it, and then your basic multiplication understanding is proper, 10 into 7 and 7 into 7, you put it, and then you get 119. So teachers have to be creative in learning and teaching, both things. So in teaching also we have to be creative, and in learning also we have to be creative. Maths is the head of all science that we have seen. Teachers need to see maths as way of life, and it should not remain as a forte of only mathematics teachers. Okay, so mathematics means ask mathematics teacher. Okay. Everyone has to be a mathematician. Okay, everyone has to be a scientist. Everyone has to be an engineer. Even though engineering degree is not, he has to be. What does engineering mean? Strong understanding at concept level and other things required. Right. So that's the reason. Multidisciplinary learning is the only way right now. So maths, science, and engineering teachers can never be independent. This is the thing that has been there till now, but NEP doesn't accept that. NEP 2020 doesn't accept that all teachers are independent. No, all are connected, right? So teacher-student relation should transform to Guru Shishya. This is a big statement that I'm making, because there's a very good saying, teacher shows the way to the student, but a guru takes you there. See the difference. Guru takes you there, but teacher shows the way. Okay, we need to become guru. And it's our responsibility as a teacher to transform student as a shishya. Lifetime knowledge, we are the only ones who are giving. So CSIT has a bigger role to support this visual and fun dimension and handhold the abstract level teaching of maths. Okay, now you understand what role a CSIT has to do with. Everywhere you have a role, because this is kind of mathematics is engraved in everything, and people tend to forget it. As computer science and information technology, we have only resorted to looking at computer science related subject or IT related subject, but the one thing that is engraved inside, which is going as hidden or invisible kind of a thing, is mathematics. That has to be given a leverage, and then that has to be lifted up and given a conceptual and then fun dimension to it, to make learning become strong in CS and IT. Okay, so that's the thing. So another dimension of looking at education, this is a very age-old dimension of education, but not followed, but NEP emphasizes on these aspects. So education is having 5 aspects, you can say. The first one is information. This is often confused. What is the confusion there? Information is understood as education. And this is what we have seen in the classes also. Before a teacher starts a PowerPoint, we have seen, especially in my classes also, we have seen, moment a PowerPoint is started, somewhere in the corner, though we say mobile should not be used in class, one of the students, someone will start searching and says, hey, the PowerPoint that the teacher is showing is here. Okay, no need to focus on the class. I will share you immediately. Remember, teacher has a role to play in between the lines, not in the lines. What are the presentations that I am making here? Most of them are available in Google. But what is being connected between the slides is my proprietary. That's my forte. Okay, teacher has to be looked at that. And unfortunately, students are looking at only information. So we need to work strong and say information is not the only thing as part of education. If that was the case, every person would have become an engineer without going to school. Just by Googling, he could have become an engineer, right? It's not possible. So this is only holding on to first dimension is not okay. Whatever we say, holistic education, it has 5 aspects. You can see here. So concepts has to be part of it. What is concept? It is the basis of all research. Need to conceive in order to create. If you want to create, you need to understand firmly. You have to get it deep rooted. Then only you can create new things from it. Third one, attitude. It's an integral part of education. Okay, and it is to be cultivated towards right attitude. What does right attitude means? A student is disciplined in the class. Okay, keen on using the opportunity, is said to have a right attitude. And on the same time, the same student who is disciplined, keen on the knowledge in the class, if he's naughty and mischievous outside the class, is also right attitude. So as long as the student is naughty outside the class, mischievous outside the class, it doesn't matter. As long as the student is interested in the class and then keen on listening and then very disciplined in the class, it's perfect. But if reverse happens, there is a problem of attitude. Okay, so proper attitude at the right time and place determines your action and behavior. So attitude is relational, I can say. It is dependent on the time and place. Inside the class, one attitude; outside the class, can be anything. Okay. Then imagination. This is also required. Essential for creativity is arts. Okay. But if you get stuck in imagination, you become psychotic. Don't get stuck. So you should know the threshold levels. Okay. Trade-off levels of imagination. Don't get too much into imagination. Right? Then fifth dimension is freedom. Freedom is your very nature. Just see, only with freedom do joy, generosity, and other human values blossom. Without freedom, attitude becomes stifling. Concepts become a burden. Information is of no value, and imagination becomes stagnant. Okay, understand? These 5 dimensions are the dimensions that are necessary for holistic kind of an education. Okay, this is true for the student also, true for a teacher also. And rightly embedded by this, teacher is bound to go in the direction of transforming himself to a guru, and student will bound to grow and then convert into dimension of Shishya. Okay, so I'm on the last slide. The references and credits go to Indian Math Heritage. Okay, I'm sorry, my details that was read out at the beginning is there from the website. I somehow missed out sending the work that I have been doing of late. I'm also an art of living teacher working with Sri Ravi Shankar, His Holiness Sri Ravi Shankar, and for the past 20 years I'm associated, but for last 10 years I'm also teaching his knowledge, taking across people, and then transformation. I take the responsibility to bring transformation in people. Okay. In their health wise and the thought wise and the strength wise. Yes, talk anything, we are there. Okay. And other, of course, water presentation, GIF images that I've told. I'm not a good GIF designer. Okay. I've taken from the net the one that are relevant. Okay. So internet resources, and then what are the results that have been shown? They are the archives of my researching team. Okay. So I acknowledge for giving me this opportunity here. For SJC and IIIT Allahabad. Special thanks to Dr. Vani Shri, Dr. Mohammed Javed, who are coordinators of this SDP. And special gratitude to all my teachers, father figures, especially B.N. Chatterjee, who is my guide and the pioneer in image processing in the country. Way back in 70s, he was one of the very few in the country who had initiated image processing research in the country. Right. So I'm very fortunate for having worked under him. And especially another father figure, Professor P. Nagbhushan and Professor KCG, and all legendary teachers who are talking this legacy towards future untiringly, irrespective of their age, they are taking it forward. Okay, especially Professor KCG nearing 80 years, Professor BNC nearing 80 years, they are still doing wonderful things. I should appreciate at this point, Professor B.N. Chatterjee has guided 50 research scholars towards PhD, and at this age, 80 also, he is guiding another 6 of them. And he keeps telling to me, Kulkarni, in another 2 years, I want to stop research after these 5 people get graduated. So that's the kind of enthusiasm they carry into that. Special thanks to living legend of Vedic maths. I don't see any Vedic maths profound person still living on this planet other than Sriram Chauthai Wale, who has been there more than 50 years into this, and then he is one of the key members, secretary level kind of a thing for Vedic maths in India, promoting Vedic maths in India. Okay. He is a very strong person under whom I have learned Vedic maths also. Okay. So yes, that's it. We are on dot 11 o'clock. I leave the platform open for you people. Okay. So thank you. Let me stop the sharing and then take up some questions if at all they're there. We'll see.
Thank you very much, sir. Before we wrap up, we can take a couple of questions.
Yeah. Any questions? If not,
since
only
we are
two things happen.
Yeah, since we are running out of time, we can take the questions offline.
Sure.
So all the participants, if you have any queries, you can post the queries on my mail, and sir will answer. We'll post you offline. So thank you for the wonderful session, sir, on exploring visual and fun dimensions of engineering maths. The transitions from slide to slide, the slide was like a story for us, and it took us to a different world of mathematics. Yeah, and I'm sure that the participants have not taken their eyes off the screen. The concepts were amazingly interesting. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Subhash sir.
It's our responsibility to take.
Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and delivering such a fun, fun mathematics. I think I can summarize. So we all really enjoyed, and we got some new perspectives that how can we analyze the formulas visually, and many things you have touched, sir. Signal processing. And many, even I worked in DCT, discrete cosine transform. So I also got some ideas, sir. So it was really wonderful to listen.
I am very sorry because those ZIF images would have made more interesting things.
Yes, sir.
I will share it. Madam, please give me a time of 2 hours because those
definitely, sir.
Slides that are to be filled, I need to fill it and send it.
Yes, sir.
Definitely, sir. Please take your time.
Definitely before lunch, you will get the slides.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank
and participants, let's assemble at 11:30 for the next session by Dr. Rajendra Singh on paradigms for augmenting quality in teaching, learning, and assessment, experiencing national education policy through IIIT Allahabad best practices. So let's meet at 11:30. Bye, all of you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Anurag. Thank you. Thanks for
Thank you, sir.
listening. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.